Shalom, shalom, YouTube. This is Antonio Gonzalez, and I know I'm speaking kind of quiet. It's real late, and my folks is asleep downstairs. I don't want to wake them up, so I'm going to speak as loud as I can so you can hear me. This is a video in response to George Zimmermane's release for being not guilty. Before I continue, I would like to say something to Trayvon's family. I am very sorry for your loss. Trayvon did not deserve to die like he did. Trayvon Martin will be missed, and I know what you're going through because I had a brother and I lost him a few years ago. It was a freak accident and it was horrible. And I just want you to know you're not alone. And if you need to talk, my email is abigandtall2008@aol.com. All lowercase, no caps. Now, if you know or believe that Trayvon Martin is truly innocent, then I would listen to what I have to say. And if you're one of those people that are heartless, cold-blooded, selfish, and ignorant, and think that George Zimmermane is innocent, well, I don't think this video is for you, because the information I'm about to give is going to be very helpful, understandable from someone else's point of view. And if you don't want to understand, then no, and it's not for you then. It's not for you. This is for people that really need to understand. This is not about being racist. Okay? This is not about being racist. This is about someone losing their life for no reason. And when I talk about people that are racist, I'm going to just be plain honest. Alright? George Zimmermane is a liar. You can see it through his face. You can see how he talks. And you can see how he acts during the case. Compared to when the murder occurred. George Zimmermane told the officer that Trayvon Martin was in his late teens, and at the court, when he gave an apology to Trayvon Martin's family, he said, "I apologize for your son's loss. I did not know that he was 17. And I thought he was a few years younger than me." We already know through evidence that's a lie. When you lie the first time, it's a domino effect. Everything else is going to be a lie. Everything is going to be out of place. Okay? You might have fooled the people in the court, but you didn't fool me. And you surely didn't fool God, because God is all-knowing. He knows He knows what went on. He knows what really happened. Some of the witnesses that saw the incident was probably too scared to admit that Trayvon Martin was screaming for help. And George Zimmermane was about to shoot him. Okay. Now, if George Zimmermane was screaming for help after being smothered by Trayvon Martin, he's a weak ass punk. Because this is a child. I don't care how big he is. This is a child. And George is how old? He's like 26 years old? He's a punk. And he should have never have got out of his car in the first place. That's just plain and simple. Obviously, if he was scared of this person, which he said he was, why would you get out of your car to go after this young man? Why? Obviously, you weren't scared of him. You weren't threatened by him. You just wanted to be a hero. For what? No reason. You didn't like this kid because he was black and because he had a hood on. That makes him a troublemaker. This is what a lot of racist people need to understand. You don't judge people by the way they look and by the color of their skin, because that's a stereotype. That's just guessing on people. That's like an hypothesis. You're just guessing based on what you see. You don't know the person. You have to know the person inside, not the outside. And people just don't understand. They just don't understand. They think Trayvon Martin is guilty, but Trayvon Martin is dead. He's shot. He's gone. And George Zimmermane is still standing. Doesn't that tell you anything? And when they checked the fingerprints on the gun, Trayvon Martin's fingerprints were nowhere to be found. George Zimmermane's fingerprints were on the gun. Folks, this is not hard to understand. Okay. The police asked him where he went. He told them. And they heard wind from the phone, come like rushing from the phone. And they knew that he was running after the kid. And that's why they asked him, "Are you following him?" He said yes. The officer said, "We don't need you to do that." He said, "Okay." And he still kept going. Now, is it still Trayvon's fault that he got shot? Because after what I've just told you, you would understood that Trayvon Martin didn't do crap to get himself killed. Okay? He was just walking home. His intentions was never to assault anybody. But the way he grew up, and he's a tough guy, he was followed by George Zimmermane. George Zimmermane needed to leave him alone. If you're being followed by someone and they can never get off your back, what would you do? Would you keep running, or would you stop to confront him? I would have confronted him and then asked him, what's his deal? That's what Trayvon Martin did. And there's nothing wrong with that. Then George asked him, what are you doing here? You see, he told the reporters that he knew everybody in the neighborhood, right? The problem is, Trayvon Martin was a resident of the neighborhood. So how can he say he knew everybody? I don't care if he just moved there. You don't assume somebody just because of the way they look. You don't. That's wrong on George's part. And after that, if you're hearing the phone call, he told him to get off. And you know what George Zimmermane did? He grabbed him. And then it pissed Trayvon Martin off. And they exchanged words and they started fighting. Yep, there was some points where George was on top of Trayvon. There were some points where Trayvon was on top of George. But when Trayvon was dominant over George, George couldn't take it anymore. Okay? Now he said, oh, he smothered my nose. When he talked to the officer being questioned about what happened, the officer said, where did he smother you? Because I don't see any marks or anything like that. And the injuries, he said they were severe. That's another lie. The crime investigator said on the court that there was nothing wrong with him, that these were not life-threatening. So was Trayvon Martin's intentions was to kill him, or was it to beat him really bad so he can get the F off of him? Another question is this. If George Zimmermane knew he had a gun, why did he get out of the car with it if he had no intention of using it and it was loaded? Obviously, his intentions was to kill him. Instead of being a man and putting his gun away, he got out of the car with the gun. The little young boy did not bother him. The young boy was frightened of him because he was looking at him too hard. George Zimmermane thought it was a threat. So he got out of the car and ran his direction. And then when Trayvon saw right behind him, he ran. A lot of racist whites. Yes, I'm talking to you racist white people. Yes, they're the main ones that say them stupid, ignorant comments that Trayvon was a thug and that he had marijuana, that it had nothing to do with what just happened. A lot of people do the same crap and get away with it. A lot of people wear hoods. Whites wear hoods. Chinese wear hoods. I mean, it's like the style now. But George assumed because he was black, wearing a hood, that he was a troublemaker. If George Zimmermane would have never got out of his car, Trayvon Martin would have never ran away from the guy with the gun he would have been confronting the guy with the gun. And he wouldn't have got shot by George with the gun if it wasn't for George getting out of the car. If George was just stayed in the car, mind his own business, left the child alone, Trayvon Martin would not be dead today. I don't care how you slice it. George Zimmermane started it by getting out of the car. This is not rocket science. This is the truth. His punk ass got out of the car and decided to do with a child. I don't care how big he is. He's a child. He could have been his own son. Or somebody else's son. This man did it out of race. He did it out of hatred. People would tell me, oh, he's not racist. He's a hero. How is he a hero? Well, he took down an unarmed child that didn't do nothing wrong. He thought he was the criminal. Well, looks like the tables have been turned on him. So now he has become the criminal. He should have shot himself. I don't feel sorry for George. George had a chance to change his mind on whether he would go after this kid or not. But he decided to go after him. A child. A child. And the jury, those 5 white women, what were they thinking about? What was on their mind? Were they thinking about Trayvon Martin, the kid that was unarmed, that was just going to the store and buying some treats or some milk or orange juice, whatever, for his family? Or George Zimmermane, the innocent one that accidentally got out of his car, accidentally chased the young child, accidentally had a gun, accidentally fought the young man, and accidentally shot him. Obviously, these women weren't considering Trayvon's life. They chose a murderer over a child. Many people would agree and say, well, Trayvon deserved it. No one deserves to die like that. The only person that's allowed to take your life is God. One of the commandments of the Bible, thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not kill. How is that right? Oh, it's in the Constitution? Where does it say in the Constitution that if you be threatened by someone, you can kill them? And remember this, the Constitution was made for white people, and it still is today. And don't even bring up that O.J. Simpson trial, because he is one of the very few that got away with it. Most whites get away with killing black children, and I know people are going to say the word blacks kill black people too. Yeah, I know. But who started it? Black people or white people? It was white people that started that shit. They started it during slavery. They did that. Right when they were doing the lynching. They started it. Now look what happened. But there's one thing where a black person kills another black person. That's just our stupidity. Another thing, but someone of another race killing a black child, not a black man, a black child, is a different story. Trayvon was truly innocent. He did not deserve to die. Even if his background is not perfect. A lot of people are not perfect. All our presidents are not perfect. Nobody is perfect. Everybody has a flaw. Everybody has sinned in their life. Jesus said, "Those of you that have not sinned, please cast the first stone." No one did. So everyone is guilty. Okay? If you have no sympathy for Trayvon Martin, then obviously God is not in your heart. And if you can think for a second, what if it wasn't Trayvon Martin? What if it was your child? What if it was your child that got chased by George Zimmermane and got shot? I bet you'd be looking at this situation a lot differently. Yes. What if he was a white child and he got shot? George Zimmermane wouldn't be free. He would be in jail or put to death. That's just the truth. George Zimmermane had no reason to come after him. No reason whatsoever. No reason. The court, the justice system is whack. It's crooked. It's dysfunctional. It needs to be changed. It needs to be fixed because it's making our America a racist, divided place. And fuck the Constitution, because the Constitution, once again, is made for white people. Okay? That's why a lot of white people get away with things. Some white people don't, but most of them do. Now, don't tell me that blacks have it all good. No, they don't. While George Zimmermane is out there walking around free, there's a young black man in jail for fighting dogs. How do you justify that? Is a dog worth more than a black child? Obviously it is, because otherwise he wouldn't be in jail. George wouldn't be free. In Genesis chapter 29, verse 3, it says, "I will bless those that bless my people, and I will curse those that despise you and sees you as worthless." Most of you whites have no idea who those people are. I'm going to tell you. The people that I am speaking of are the black people that you have been oppressing and mistreating and degrading. Those are God's people. And because y'all are so racist, and some blacks are racist, but a lot of whites are racist, more so than black. And you be racist and you kill a child because of the color of their skin, then obviously God has cursed you. God has cursed you for the rest of your life until you get to the point till you understand that the black race is chosen by God. And because they were disobedient, they were cursed. It's in the Bible. Look at Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 14 through 24. 24 through 68. And it says it right there. We fit those curses 100%. Hey, it's the truth. Y'all don't believe me? Open your King James version of the Bible and look it up for yourself. Because it's the truth. Y'all continue to be racist. Y'all continue to mistreat black people and think that they're less than of animals. Then God has already cursed you. And it's going to continue to curse you until you come to an understanding. And don't think that you're going to go to the heaven by being a hypocrite. God only has the best. And if you are not of God, then I'm sorry. You're going to Sheol. Hell. You're going there. So, as for George Zimmermane, I would say he's a lucky man, not blessed. He's a lucky man because God has something in store for him. He think he got away with it. Obviously, God is not in his heart either. You honor me, yet you have your heart far from me. Don't tell me George is a Christian man. Obviously, he is not a Christian man. He is Satan. Now, I hope y'all understood what I was saying about Trayvon being innocent. And everything I said was true. And it's hypothetically correct. Now, if you don't want to listen, then God was going to curse you till you have understanding. That's just the truth. Alright, well, Trayvon Martin's family, I'm praying for y'all, and I hope y'all have a blessed day. Okay? Be strong. Shalom, shalom.